Hello and welcome to Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Today I'm gonna show you a finished sweater from one of the ones from last week. Actually, I could show you two, but I don't know where one of them is. I must have brought it somewhere upstairs. Should have got it. All right, maybe we'll stop this at some point and go get it. I finished two of the sweaters that I wore in progress last week. I'm wearing my Woolly Thistle t-shirt, which you can't totally see. There it is. This is from last fall, and there's a beautiful knitter named Joy sitting atop a sheep knitting a sock. I think the sheep's name is Thistle. But anyway, yeah, I got new glasses, and also these are from Zimph Optical, and they sent me these glasses for free because I am a YouTuber, and so I have a discount link for people who would like to get some glasses. They're pretty affordable. They're very affordable, actually. And I have a discount code, and I think you get 50% off the frames and 10% off the lenses if you use it. If you look in the description box, it has the ones that I'm wearing like linked, also just like the regular shop, and the code is there too. I think the code is just Barnaby, but it's in the description box. So if you want some new glasses, I like them. They're different than my teal ones. They're also round. I like round glasses, but they're a little bit bigger. And yeah, they're just like, my teal ones are like, that's a signature look, but it's kind of a lot. So it's nice to have some options. And I am totally gonna get more of these because I really like them, and they're affordable. And you can't just like go buy frames all the time from the fancy glasses store because they're a lot of money. So this is like a nice choice for me as a young professional. Anyway, yeah, thank you, Zimph. I like the glasses a lot. And cool. Okay, so what did I make this week? Okay, I worked really hard on this Woolly Thistle sweater, and I finished it. This reindeer sweater. I also finished my Cloudsley sweater, but this I finished, which is very exciting. Yay. So it has little reindeers on it. This is the Reindeer by Vidas Jansdottir. It is in one of the Lopi books. I thought it wasn't available on Ravelry as a single pattern, but it is. You can get this as a single pattern. I knit this in Navia Traditions, which is a worsted weight yarn from the Faroe Islands, in this bright red color, which I think is 916, and then this light heathered gray and the dark gray. And I can't remember the colors of these off the top of my head, but I will link them in the show notes. I will write them in the show notes. I got this yarn at the Woolly Thistle, which is fun. I really liked working with it. It was very like woolly, which I like, and most people who shop at the Woolly Thistle also like, I think. And it was really quick to knit. Like I found that it went quickly. Again, I used my Chalgo Twist mini twist needles for the sleeves. So the blue set that comes in sizes 4 through 8, I used those for the sleeves, and they went really quickly. I did those first, then I did the body. That didn't take very long either. And the yoke was so much fun that it just kind of flew. And I finished this in 7 days. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty quick. Especially, that's maybe my record of how fast I can knit a sweater while I'm also like going to work every day and working full time. Because in the past I've made many sweaters in 2 to 4 days, but I've never done it while I'm like going to work all day. So that's pretty cool. 6 days is not bad. But again, this is like a worsted weight sweater, and I usually knit with fingering weight, like I'm knitting socks or I'm knitting fingering weight sweaters or whatever. So that, you know, that's one of the reasons. I'll put it on for you. It's hot still here in Baltimore. Oh, some of this just got in my coffee. So this is just like a little filament of wool thread got in my coffee. Okay, I take these off so that they don't get wrecked. Put this on. I get a little bit of color bleeding of the red just onto the light gray, but no, not a big deal. Okay. Oh wow, it's so Nordic. Holy crap. It's so Nordic. Okay, I love this. It's definitely woolly. Like, this is a woolly sweater. I will be wearing this with a long sleeve shirt underneath. I can sit here and talk wearing this. It's not a problem. It's a little prickly. So I am obsessed with it. Look at this. Look at these reindeers. I have talked before about asymmetrical color work, or sometimes I call it irregular color work. So I guess this is like another short installment in my irregular color work series. Most color work is not irregular. Most color work is symmetrical. Sometimes it's symmetrical horizontally and vertically. It's almost always symmetrical. Like, you know, like the horizontal repeats are small and they're easy. This is not. Like, there are these just like repeats that don't, like, they're not symmetrical with each other. This motif, this reindeer motif, obviously the trees are, and the trees are a lot simpler. But yeah, the reindeers are not. Reindeers, I don't know. Anyway, it goes with my new glasses because it's red, which is cool. But yeah, they're like, I mean, this kind of color work I would tell you is trickier because you have to do a lot more focusing. Like, it's not super obvious where the pattern's going. You kind of have to, you know, do a little bit more critical thinking, I think, while you're not critical thinking, critical focus, I would say. There's like a little more focus involved. If you're like a color work knitter who's never done something like this, floats can be long. You're gonna have to catch a lot more floats. Maybe. I would say that it wasn't too hard to do the reindeer though. Like, yeah, it's just that like I started this channel mostly to talk about Fair Isle and color work knitting. It's not Fair Isle season. Fair Isle season for me is fall. So I'm getting back into it. And actually, I was just saying to my roommate Hannah last night that I need to pick up this big Fair Isle jumper that I started about a year ago and get back to that because it's time to finish it. It's my Hilda jumper. If you've been following my channel, it's my Hilda jumper. And I'm gonna finish that. That's gonna be instead of casting on a new sweater right away, I'm gonna at least finish one of those sleeves before I cast on another sweater. So I'm gonna finish the first sleeve of the Hilda jumper, and then I'm gonna have to reknit the second sleeve, which is gonna be annoying because the first one was way too big. But and then I'm gonna make another one of these for Ian, my brother. Don't tell him. It's gonna be in green. And sorry if you watch this, Ian. If you're watching this, what are you doing? Bro, like, you have school. Imagine if my brother watched this on his study breaks. No, he does not do that. I would be shocked. But yeah, got a little tiny bit of pink on the sleeve here from the red dye, but that is like a pretty normal thing. You can use a color catcher to take care of that if you are super fussed about it. It's not a big deal. I also soaked it for like overnight. Like, that was a long time to soak it, and the dye kind of set into the light gray, but it's like not really something that is hugely concerning to me. If you are concerned about that, just knit a one color project, and the color will come out in the wash a little bit, but it's not going to bleed onto anything else. So that's a solution. Okay. What else is going on? Okay, the main thing that I did this week is that I sat down with my friend Nitin and we talked about knitting, and that was fun. So we did that on like Wednesday night. So I'm just gonna put it in the middle of this and you will see it. So Nitin is my friend from graduate school, and his name is Nitin, and he does know how to knit because I taught him how to knit because he thought it was good, it was funny, it was like a good bit. He committed though. He's a pretty avid knitter. So I talked to Nitin about how we met and our like how he learned how to knit and stuff, and yeah, it's just like a very normal chat. We're having just a chat in front of a camera, and he is going to show you his whips. He has a bunch of whips to share If there are any links, I will put them in the description box, and you can click on them. Yeah, and I'm sure he will be happy to answer your questions if you have comments. He is an avid watcher of this channel because he loves to read the transcript and see the funny things that YouTube thinks that I'm saying, which is exciting. So if you have any burning questions for Knittin, you can ask them in the comments, and I will tell him to read them and get back to you if he has time. So yeah, you can enjoy that right now. Welcome to Tiny Desk Knitting Interviews Somebody again. This doesn't happen very often. This is my friend Nitin.
Hi.
In my effort to like provide some variety on the channel, there are now guests. My mom was a big hit, so we're gonna just make the rounds. So we're talking to Nitin today. I meant to talk to Nitin like some episodes ago, and then what happened? I got COVID, and then I was away.
Yeah.
And that was it. But it was
you
like...
had to record like 4 in advance.
I did. That was like 6 weeks ago. And then I got... Yeah, because it was because I got COVID. My whole house got COVID. It was so dramatic. But anyway, this is my knitting friend, Nitin, which is hilarious.
I just started a new role at work, and all my friends at work were like, "Ah, yes, Knittin."
Yeah, Knittin. Again, Knittin.
Sitting.
Knittin, sitting, Knittin.
Knittin.
He's not knitting a mitten yet, though.
No, I have the yarn. No, I've used the yarn for it already.
One of our friends is obsessed with knitting a mitten, but I don't know, we haven't talked to him in a while. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. How did we meet?
It's like 4 years to today.
Yeah, it's almost 4 years. It's a little bit over 4 years ago.
We were both GAs in the best college house in graduate school.
It means that we were dorm moms.
Yeah, so we lived with freshmen, which actually wasn't too bad.
It wasn't that bad. We did have to share the bathrooms with them, though. That was pretty freaking gross.
Yeah, my college roommate I lived with all 4 years came to visit me and had to use the shared bathroom again. And he, to this day, he's like, I don't know how you did it, because we spent 3 years in apartments, sophomore, junior, and senior year of undergrad. And
it was pretty gross.
He was like, how did you do it? It's really not too bad if you just kind of
it
out. My residents were always good, and so they kept it clean.
I don't know.
I was on the good side of the building.
I don't know how I did it. I think I just kind of like compartmentalized the bathroom situation because we were like living there for free, which was a really good deal.
That's fair. I
don't know. It was...
never got locked out, so...
I got locked out once. One time in almost 2 years, I got locked out.
When you went, like, during a shower?
No, not during a shower.
Oh, I got locked out once because someone was like, go help run this upstairs, and I went upstairs and I got locked out.
Yeah. One time, not during a shower, but it was really bad when they got locked out during a shower because they would have to go, like, it was basically a 2-block walk, and you pretty much had to go outside.
There was one time I was on call or on duty. I wasn't even called. And the entire lock system stopped working. And so it was 3 a.m. and people just showed up, drunk, hungover, whatever, and they couldn't get back into the building. And so I was like running around, and by the time like 2 hours later it was fixed, they were just like, cool, it works again.
It was, when those things went down, they went down. The building was really old. It was from the early 20th century, and it was brick, and there was like mold in it all the time.
But it had like a keypad lock.
We had fancy locks, which meant that we always got sick because when you went into the quad, you had to type your PIN in and then put your card on the thing. And so everyone had to touch this thing. Every like 1,600 residents of this building or something, there were only 2 entrances, so you had to touch a keypad. And every time someone had a cold, all 1,500 of us got a cold. It was so gross. But strong immune systems, right? I don't know.
Builds character.
Anyway, I taught you how to knit because your name is Nitin.
I don't think that's why.
No, I was teaching a lot of people how to knit.
We had a staff lounge where we all hung out because we were all sad graduate students or sad undergrads or just bored. Mostly just bored.
Speak for yourself. No, we were definitely sad sometimes.
And she would be knitting, and so people would be like, oh, you should teach us.
Everybody wanted to learn.
And the first year, there were like 7 people you got stuff for.
And very few of them committed. You did.
Yeah, that was it.
George never even picked up his stuff. Well, he was a lot. George was a lot.
I don't know. And then second year, and I was like, I'm going to Well, I think I started knitting a scarf, and then
Yes.
I was like, oh,
The
forgot
second
about
year
it.
that we were living there were much more people who were interested. Like there were all these girls that were like undergrads that were juniors that hadn't been in the dorm with us the year before. Who like one of them was our friend Zoe, and she already knew how to knit. And then Kaylee got pretty into knitting.
Yeah.
And Josie already knew how to knit, so she would knit with us.
So there was just like a company.
Yeah, there were like many more of us that year. And Hector learned how to knit that year.
Yes, and then I was like getting into more difficult stuff, and then
Yeah.
COVID hit. I was like,
Yeah.
great. I have this hat I made during the first few months of COVID, and I was
right.
very excited. It was super.
really nice wool.
It was like, wool that was on
It was
sale.
like
So I'm like,
wool
this is gonna be
yarn.
great. I'm gonna wear it all the time. And then I finished, and I looked at it, and it was about the size
Like for an
like a
8-year-old.
12-year-old.
It was
And
too small.
I haven't found, it's too special to just give to like any 12-year-old.
I know.
And so I told my sister that one day, well, whichever one of us has a kid first gets
Yeah.
this hat. This
You'll
12-year-old
just like
gets this
drown
hat.
your kid when it's a new thing.
Just, like as the kid grows up, you're one.
Yeah,
hat
you take a picture
person
of the kid with the hat on
Yeah.
every year of its life. That'd be
until it
pretty
fits,
funny.
and then it doesn't fit, and then
That'd be pretty funny.
it gets passed on. It's like
Yeah.
an heirloom now.
But you're pretty like experienced now. You've done a lot of things.
I've tried. I've
Yeah.
said I've been knitting mittens next for the last 3
You
years.
have to look at all your projects. Like there's a
I
lot
have
of
a bunch
projects
stuff
you gotta
going
finish.
on.
This is a
It's
good
fun
hat.
hat.
Yeah, I think it's a good definition. Good lighting.
Look at that. It's called like David's hat or
David's
Robert's
hat.
hat.
We'll link it in the show
Someone's
notes.
hat.
I think it's
Ravelry.
free.
I think it is free.
I think it's a free
I bought this yarn. It's Malabrigo Rios
Yeah.
in I don't know, but it's like has a bunch of kind of blue, gray, orange.
Yeah, it's
Big
cool.
orange fan.
Nitin likes
Couldn't
orange.
tell.
Yeah. You went to the
I went to the
University
University of Illinois, ILO.
That's not where we were RAs.
No. We were. I went to undergrad. I'm actually in this photo there somewhere from 2015. You can see me actually wearing a knit hat that was store bought. So.
Good.
But so this was very interesting, and I really like Rios because I think it was one of the first yarns you introduced me to.
Yeah, it's a good
and so
yarn.
I'm just like, oh great, it's on sale, whatever, $15 or something.
It's like, it's super washed, but you knit that at a like good enough gauge that it's not going to stretch too much.
And I'm actually making another one.
This
Well, I
one's
started this a
pretty.
long time ago. It's also
I love
Rios.
this color.
Not sure what this one's called either, but it's kind of red black.
And you made these stitch markers.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
so,
you 3D printed those.
When I was in grad school with her, obviously, I worked in this poster lab, basically just like a side gig. Also, that had 3D printers, and so I wanted to learn computer-aided design. Didn't really know, and it's also just really simple circle. And so my friend taught me how to just make a circle, and we basically 3D printed like 50 of these, and so it's my
Yeah.
stitch marker to this day.
I have one. I use it all the time. It's in one of my
so-
projects right now. Can't
Yeah,
remember
and
which
so
one.
I started this hat because I was on a trip somewhere, and I wanted something easy to knit on the airplane or something like that.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know this, you can bring knitting needles on airplanes.
I was skeptical the first time I did that, so I
Yeah, you
specifically
can.
bought cheap wooden needles.
Oh, I remember
So
that.
that if
yeah,
they got
that's
thrown
right.
away, I wouldn't feel
You
as
wouldn't
bad.
be upset. You could just
Um,
pull needles out of the project and then you can just throw the needles
Yeah,
away.
I also I have this running list of like places I knit where I get interesting looks because people
Oh,
are like,
yeah.
oh, like a dude knitting, like unusual, which is cool. Like, I mean, people ask me questions. Like, I was stopped by the Amtrak conductor a couple months ago because she's like,
Yeah.
wow, what are you knitting? And I'm like, I'm working on this sweater, which I have next. And so this hat's my like travel project. So
Yeah.
I'm traveling soon, so maybe I'll actually get somewhere with it.
Yeah. Where are you going?
To Denmark.
That's pretty cool.
So I don't know how many yarn shops I'm going to visit, but we'll see.
It's a pretty packed
I
trip.
have nothing planned.
You want to show them your first sweater?
Oh yes.
This is his first sweater.
Oh yes.
Working on
Every time
sweater
I
number
show
2.
someone I'm doing it, I'm like, here's where I messed up. And
I
they're like,
know.
you can't really tell. But I wanted something
pretty
simple.
good.
It's kind of orange and blue, but it's kind of ready. I don't know. I bought this yarn at
Webs.
Webb's, like the actual store, because
Went to
Emma and I went
Webb's.
to a wedding together last.
Yeah.
Does Monica watch this? I think
Oh,
you said-
Monica's not
Monica
doesn't
might
watch this, but she just moved here. Oh my
Yes.
gosh! So maybe she'll also be a guest.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
Maybe she'll
And
be
so
my
we went
next
to the
guest.
actual store, which is
We
like
went
this
to the store of
insane,
Webbs.
like large
That's pretty
warehouse.
Yeah.
And you had a job interview.
Oh, that's
And
right. I went
so-
in the car and a job was a crap job interview. It didn't.
Oh.
It was at the institution where I currently work though.
Oh, okay.
It was a
I don't
UMBC
remember.
interview.
And so I bought this yarn, and Emma was has been my yarn winder,
Oh, yeah.
or like
Oh,
her
that's
yarn
right.
winder.
Yeah,
And so
he's
I didn't think
Swift.
about it, and so I
yeah.
took all the hanks home, and then once I got here, I realized I can't start
Yeah.
until. Well, I think I said I wouldn't start until she moved here, but then I got
It was like 2 months
anxious
before I
Yeah.
moved back. Although I did visit with my Swift in the
That's-
interim.
Yeah, but like 1.5 months.
So yeah.
to December.
But what did you do? This was fun.
Oh,
got the
yeah,
drill.
and so I was like, I'm going to be really simple, and I have a drill, and I took a chopstick, and I stuck it in the drill, and I basically just put the hank
Yeah.
on like a chair, on a office chair, and so I just kind of spun it with my foot while I rolled it up on the drill. And the problem is that it worked great, like it just showed up kind of wound on this chopstick, but it was pretty ugly.
It was pretty ugly
and-
ball of yarn. It was.
And
But it worked.
I'm sure it would have worked. I could have just stuck it in the bag. I wouldn't have noticed, but I was very picky, and so I just unwound it and did it all by hand.
He is an engineer. This is
Which-
why he thought of this solution.
Yeah.
So like
Well, I feel like
I have never
the
done a
typical
solution like
engineer
that.
would have just like dealt with it and been like, "Oh yeah, it's functional, it works." But
Yeah.
I don't know. I like things to be pretty and
Yeah.
in their place.
Knittin is pretty is
Mhm.
pretty
Knittin.
pretty I don't know what's the word, detail oriented. Like you
Nitpicky.
like things to look nice, a little bit nitpicky.
Nitpicky.
That's your
I didn't-
that's your fantasy football team.
I didn't know what that word
Nitpick.
meant when I started playing fantasy football with my dad.
Like picking
I was,
knits out of hair.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I was like 7 or 8, and I'd
Oh,
never
right.
heard this word. And my dad
Had
was
you
like,
never
"Oh yeah,
realized?
Nitin kind of knows football.
Oh my God.
Let's just join my works fantasy football league." He's like, "Okay, Nitin, it's $50. Better not lose." And then I lost for like 5 years.
Good.
But then we won on the 6th year, and it canceled all the money out, and then we quit.
My dad asked my brother, he's like his like advice person, but Ian is like 21.
Yeah.
But my dad didn't win fantasy football last year. They talk about it all the time. My mom calls it fancy football,
Nice.
but you got my dad a really funny mug about it.
Oh yeah. That
It
was
says,
exciting.
my dad is a professor, and the mug that Nitin got from my dad says, education is important, fantasy football is important to her.
Important. Sure.
And he keeps it on his desk. He likes it a lot. It's his
Yeah.
favorite mug.
It was-
He doesn't drink out of it because
No.
then he wouldn't be able to see it every day. So
yeah, it was good. It was a good mug.
it's a good
but-
mug.
We'll see. And so my dad was like, "Oh, Nittin's picking my team. Let's call it Team Nitpick." And like, I mean, it maybe took me 4 years until I actually realized what that word meant. And I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of good."
It's pretty good.
All right, sure.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah, show
Okay.
me your sweater.
All right. Well, I'm working on this sweater. I have this thing where people know I knit, and so then they're like, "Oh, make me something," and I'm at the point where I'm like, "Oh yeah, that seems fun. I'll do that for you." And so I just run a list.
Backlog.
Right.
The backlog now.
I have this running list where they're like, "Oh, my cousin wants a sweater," and I told him I'd do it by December, and so that's the sweater.
That's
and then
nice.
this other sweater, and then my
But-
sister. I bought this purple yarn for my sister
That's
like
right.
a year ago.
The green one that you're gonna make next, I'm also gonna make the green sweater with the same yarn at the
Oh,
same
yeah.
time, but we're not making the same sweater.
No, I
So
still haven't
yeah.
figured it out because he said he wanted a hoodie, and then he wanted a cardigan, and he's a big Eagles fan. He lives in
green.
Philadelphia, and so he's like, "Want something
It's
Eagles,
green.
like vintage green." And we went to Maryland Sheep and Wool.
That's right, they were really cheap,
and
like
it
$4
was just
skeins.
like dark green. I'm like, even if he doesn't like it, I'm still gonna buy these because
Yeah.
they're $4
They
skeins.
were $4.
Um,
It was a good deal.
But anyway, so this is the second sweater I've made, and it's the Mountain Mist
What is Mountain Mist?
from
Strange
what's the
Brew.
book? From Strange Brew, and
yarn.
it's
Wool of the
from
Andes
Knitpicks.
worsted?
Yeah, it's Knitpicks.
good.
Wool of the Andes worsted, and a bunch of different blues. They have so many blues, and my
Yeah,
friend.
blues.
So it's for my friend Lauren. When I finished the sleeves, it was just her birthday, and I never promised it for her birthday, so I'm glad because it's
not
not
done
done. But I was scared because she picked the blues, and there are like 50 blues on the website,
I
and
know.
it had very strong like
Elsa
Frozen
vibes, yeah,
Elsa
that's
vibes, which I mean could work. It's not really her thing, but thankfully when I did more of the dark, it kind of evened out.
Yeah, like it's fine. It's not like
And
crazy.
so I'm excited to see
Here, let me
how
try it
this
on.
is when it's done. Oh, can you?
I'm the
Oh
model.
yes, I finished. Right.
Yeah, you're done. I'm the
Yeah.
model because me and
Uh,
Lauren are about the same size.
Yeah, I tried wearing it and then it like bunches up around my neck because I don't know if my shoulders are too wide or something. But
There's just some strings in there. No, it's
Yeah.
fine.
it's nice. The neck's kind of fun.
It's okay.
I think it'll
It's
even
gonna
out with
get
the sleeves.
when the sleeves are
Yeah.
on, then we'll kind of like pull them this way, so it'll be fine. Yeah.
looks good.
And when it's like blocked and it hangs. The yoke you did wash, right?
I did.
But the body's gonna, actually I remember.
Okay.
This is good yarn though. Like wool of the Andes is good. It's like not super washed, so it doesn't stretch too much.
Okay.
So it should be fine.
Wait.
Yeah. Very
I
excited.
need to get a bucket to actually do
And a block.
the
Blocking bucket.
because I had one. I use the bowl. I take the bowl. I keep my onions in. I
Oh,
thoroughly
yeah.
wash it and then block in that.
Onion yarn. I bought some more wool wash today because I was washing the Cloudsley sweater that I finished
Yes.
yesterday morning. I put it in the water to block it, and I used that like jasmine wool wash. It smells really
that's a
good.
one.
It smells really good. It's like this eucalyptus that has jasmine scented in it, and it's pretty strong. And like the lavender one and the grapefruit one, and the eucalyptus one too, they don't really like, the smell doesn't really linger.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of smells kind of nice. Like maybe you'd vaguely notice the smell of lavender. The jasmine one lingers though, so if you don't like that smell, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
But I really like it. It makes my knitwear smell really good for like several months, and then I can wash it again. And I was running out because I only got the tiny bub. It was lasted like, I got it like a year ago, so it's lasted a long time. And I don't wash like socks with like the nice wool wash because like why are you gonna smell your socks, right?
Hey,
But I mean you could like when they're not on your feet. But I use it for sweaters, and so I finally like bought a huge one.
Okay.
I got a big one yesterday.
I have a big
on
one
Amazon.
of eucalyptus.
Yeah, that one smells pretty good.
When you're done, you're
It's,
right.
like,
You can't
fresh.
really smell it
Yeah.
after
It's a
a
fresh
while. My parents really like jasmine. I don't know if it's just like a
Yeah,
natural thing, so I might have to get that one next.
It's pretty good.
When I make something for my parents. But
I made your parents both
TBD.
sweaters.
You did.
For
yes.
their birthdays. Last
Earlier
year.
this year, and then
Yeah.
last December.
Yeah. They were good, pretty
Yeah,
good sweaters.
we threw a party for my dad's birthday, and you were done by then.
There is an
It was
episode
very-
about that sweater.
Oh yes,
The Arnie
Oh,
sweater.
yeah.
I made it in December. It's like a beige sweater with like an orange yoke. I'll link the video in the show notes if you guys
Forgot
want
about
to see
that.
it.
It's
Yeah,
so-
that was.
It's very brown.
He
very
loved it.
pretty.
He did really like
Yeah.
that sweater. He was really excited about it.
Yeah, and it's getting cold. My dad gets really cold, and so like it's probably like a week away from being too cold. And he'll start putting sweat. He'll like wear like 3 layers
I
and
know.
then like a hoodie, and then like take a nap on the couch.
Yeah.
I don't know. He grew up in a pretty warm climate, so
Yeah.
I'll give it to him.
Right. So you have to finish those sleeves, and then you're gonna. And you haven't decided on a pattern, Marie, for your cardigan for Abe, right?
No, the one that I showed him used way more yarn than I need. Or
Oh, that's right.
Than,
It was like-
than it called for.
I know. It was like a Brooklyn
and
tweed pattern or
so
something.
we'll see. I'll have to figure that out. But
Yeah.
I have till December 21st, so we'll see. And I'm not going to see him probably, and so I got till like January.
I'm not gonna see him. I thought we were gonna go to Philly in October.
I'm not going to see him after like his birthday time, December 21st.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
I'll see him a few times before then, but
Yeah.
probably not for. He might come down for my dad's birthday thing.
Oh, that's right.
So,
which
we'll
is
see.
that's your birthday. That's
It's
the
my
night that that's
birthday.
happening. Which is his birthday is December 17th,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the night of your dad's. But your dad's turning 60, so it's like
Yeah, there's like this whole religious Hindu thing for turning 60, and so that's the previous weekend. So we're like, we'll throw him a party, and the next Saturday just happens to be my birthday. So maybe it'll be a joint. He's turning 60, I'm turning 26. So.
He's like shockingly introverted, but they always throw him a really big party.
He likes a few people. He likes his family. Like he grew up. His
Yeah.
dad, my grandpa, had 12 siblings, and so they lived in what's called like a joint family household. So it was like multiple brothers, and then like their families and like houses next to each other in Chennai in southern India. And so his cousins, he has whatever like 60 first cousins, something insane. They were just like his friends. He never needed friends.
Right, exactly.
And so yeah, so his family that lives close would come, and we have a few family friends who will come, and our neighbors who are like, they're pretty close friends, and also some of my like I'm gonna say like close friends. Yeah. So they're like our neighbors who kind of one of them actually works at this federal technology lab called NIST, and she kind of gave me a tour one day, and that's how I figured out I wanted to do material science, and so like jump started my career. And so
Pretty cool.
one day I'll buy them some nice wine for that or something.
Knit them something.
Could knit them something.
You gotta show them your Lopi sweater.
Oh,
So
God.
this is interesting to me because Nitin hates Lopi. I mean, like
hate Lopi.
but you don't like find that it goes easily. Like when I knit with Lopi,
Oh, yes.
it flies. Like I got a body done in like 3 hours. It's just like so fast. But you have found that does not. Maybe it's because you're using wooden needles.
Oh,
maybe because I don't use wooden needles anymore for Lopi.
The fun story behind this is that I took all this yarn.
Oh my god, that's right.
And I got through all of this plus this of the body.
Yeah.
Last Christmas, last New Year when I was in Florida, and then I found out it was too big for me and too big for my dad, who would have been like the person I pawned it off to. And so, being the nitpicker that we explained that I was, I went all the way back and balled it by hand while on vacation. Like it was like we were in Florida. It was like 90 degrees outside, and my parents and my sister were both like teleworking or whatever, but I couldn't do that. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit here and people watch or something. And ball all this yarn by hand.
But you don't like that working on it. You find that to be a chore.
I don't work on it that often. I mean, it's also, I don't know if it's because it's bottom up. It's my first bottom up project. And so it's like, at least with the yoke sweater from the top, you're like, oh, interesting, pay attention. And then it's just boring.
But then you can see like, oh, I'm making something, so I better finish it, right? Like I've separated for sleeves, look, I can try this thing on. Yeah. So it's a little bit different.
It's nice to be able to like put it over my neck and I'm like, oh, it looks nice.
Yeah, exactly.
And here the problem with this is you can't try it on. And so I would like put it on like a skirt and try and pull it up and I'm like, no, it's not gonna work. I mean, that's not really how it works. And at some point I realized, okay, it looks too big.
Cords, the knitting barber cords.
Well, yeah, even that, it's still like I gotta put it on like a skirt.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I was actually looking at those this morning because you bought some a couple months ago.
I got them at the Knot House in Frederick. Hannah got hers there too. There's a knitting store in Frederick called the Knot House.
And they're like whatever, thin silicone.
People have been telling me other things you can get that are like dupes, but it's like,
well, I was like, maybe I could 3D print that. Well, you can because they're hollow. But anyways, I looked them up and I was like, oh, they're called barber cords because that's like the
knitting barber.
It's the name. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I'm like, oh, they're just called barber cords. Maybe this is some kind of like thing I just never knew, like whatever, like some kind of knitting technique, knitting name, like the barber, like it's just called the barber cord because barbers used them or something.
Yeah, they're new. They're pretty great though. I like them a lot. All 3 of mine are in use. No, that's a lie. Because I used the sleeve ones. I almost never use the sleeve ones.
Yeah, this was a problem with my first sweater because I kept wanting to try it on, because it was just me and you weren't even here yet. And so I would knit them on a 60-inch cords, and so I'd literally just be knitting back on and off every few rounds, and it was
I know, impatience. But at least if you're knitting onto a 60-inch cord, you're like finishing a row. It's just kind of annoying.
I thought it would have maybe messed up the tension or something like that, but didn't seem to, so we're good.
Yeah. No, it wasn't too bad.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's 6:05. It's Wednesday. Usually I record in the mornings, obviously. Today is Wednesday night, so on Wednesdays we go to trivia down. It's like really, we're at Nitin's apartment, and it's like downstairs,
like
basically.
100 feet away.
There's a brewery called Diamondback Brewing Company, and we go to trivia night there every Wednesday.
Yes, it's kind of small.
It's really nice.
Brewing co. I got lost trying to find it.
Everyone gets lost trying to find it.
It's like, kind of in this alleyway.
It's like a joke that whenever we invite someone to trivia and they drive here, we're like, okay, park at the grocery store, and then they're like, where is it? And we have to go get them in the parking lot.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, we never have found this. Like, I know.
Yeah.
Everyone we bring here, they have no idea where it is.
I walked by it a few times when I first moved here, and I was like, I don't know where this is. And it was also peak COVID, so like it was outside only. And I picked up some pizza there, and it must have been done a lot quicker than they put online or whatever. And so it wasn't that great, and I wasn't too big a fan.
Unimpressed,
and then we went back, I think, with you later. I don't know, a few months later when you were here.
Yes.
And
it was much
pretty good pizza.
It's pretty good pizza. Their tomato sauce is too sweet, needs work.
Yeah, they have some like interesting seasonal options, and it's a good like standard, like when you get the cheese, there's a lot of cheese.
Yeah, I like the white ones, the white pizzas, because they don't have the sauce, the tomato sauce.
And they've introduced a bunch of new food options. And
they have the cheese
plate. They have a brewery cat, which is a big hit among some of my friends.
Yeah, Lori really likes Inky.
Yeah,
Lori's obsessed with Inky. Is Lori coming tonight?
No idea.
I don't know. We don't always know. There's usually there's 4 of us that always show up.
Yeah, 4 to 5 of us that
Tyler and Mike.
Yeah.
And then
from there it varies.
Yeah,
Sometimes
from
your
there.
roommates
My roommates are
come.
both coming tonight.
Yeah.
Usually at least one of my roommates shows up.
Yeah, and then we had a few friends, two of my friends who used to live here. Did you do the baby sweater on an episode?
Yes, I think I did show. Yeah,
Yes.
we still haven't. I haven't seen them. You saw them at kickball when I was gone.
So they used to live real close to here, and then
They lived
moved
across
out
the street,
kind of
yeah.
further to get more space. They have a young dog and now a
They
young
have a
child.
baby. Yeah, 2 months
So
old.
further away, and they both work with me. They kind of
Sometimes they come to trivia. Well, no, I haven't seen Christine since they had Holden.
no.
But Shane came once to trivia.
And a kickball.
What we really like in the summer and fall is that there's like some kind of like CSA pickup that happens at the brewery. And so like, but after 7 p.m. and like our trivia starts at 8.
Yeah.
If there's stuff left from the CSA pickup, you can just take it, like anyone who comes to the brewery. So we always just like show up in the summer and there's just like
Yeah.
3 or 4 like big like racks of vegetables and fruit.
So
and
we have good experience. I got a cantaloupe, and then the week after you
I got a good cantaloupe. We got watermelon. Hannah and I brought a watermelon
There's
home
been
last
a lot
week.
of
It was
kale.
really
There's a lot of
good.
kale earlier in the season. Now there's like tomatoes.
They
and
a
stuff
bunch
like
of you
that.
guys once ate really hot peppers because you didn't know how hot they were. That was pretty
That
funny.
was good.
Last fall.
I feel like we knew they were going to be extremely
Yeah.
spicy because it was this bag
Oh.
that had habaneros in it, and then these really
They were the
tiny,
white ones. No, you guys. At least Allison ate a white one.
Yeah,
and
the
I was
tiny
just like-
white and green peppers, and we're like, oh, we
She
wonder
couldn't
what this
speak
is.
for like 20 minutes.
And
It
so
was so
we were
hot.
like, all right, let's try it. And so 3 of us tried it.
You guys went for it.
And it was a lot. It's not great because the place only serves beer and has like water and pizza ends after like 8 p.m. So we're like,
Yeah.
oh, what can we eat? They're gonna come back to my apartment to get milk or something like that. But
Yeah. But yeah, we have a pretty good contingent of people. Sometimes Sean comes. Well, he comes most of the time, but he's not coming tonight.
yes, and then my old college roommate Trey, who I
Sometimes
mentioned.
he just moved here.
It's funny. He's from Illinois, where we went to school, and I'm from Maryland, and so like we kind of switched places after undergrad. He moved here to Baltimore, and I went to grad school, and then ended up here as well. And so now we're both in the same place.
Yeah, and he moved to my neighborhood, so now he shows
Yeah,
up.
so he moved back into the city
And
after a
Gray
couple of
comes.
years away.
Gray comes to trivia. He lives in my neighborhood too.
He does.
He comes
Kind of
sometimes.
further south, but
Yeah, he lives further south.
kinda like
Technically, we
halfway
live in the same neighborhood, but it really doesn't feel like the same neighborhood.
so yeah, it started off as a bunch of people, coworkers
From
from
your
work, who used to live in the area or still live in
Right.
the area, and then included their friends, included my friends, obviously.
Yeah. So
Um,
yeah, it's like you and Tyler, they
Yeah.
work. You used to work together. They
Yes.
still sort of work.
Same
you work at the
company,
same company,
very different
but now you work in
areas.
a different, right? So they're the 2 core,
yeah.
and then the other. Usually it's me, Tyler, and Mike is Tyler's friend.
Yes.
Well, from
high
like
school,
childhood.
yeah.
And I was Nitin's friend, and so now it's like we're like the 4 core people,
It's
and
like
we're
this
also
combo,
on the
and
kickball
then-
team.
yes.
The kickball team is mostly people from your work.
And then one of my high school friends, Lori, who
Lori.
might watch this, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't think Lori
I'm-
watches.
There's me, Lori. Well, now that I've said I mentioned Lauren's
Oh, yeah,
sweater.
now you have to-
Me,
you have to
Lori, and
send it.
Lauren were like really tight friends in high school,
Yeah,
and
you guys
so
have to-
Lori's gonna be upset that I made Lauren the sweater and haven't made her anything.
I
yet.
did promise
Uh,
Lori because one time we were at trivia and
Yeah.
she was freezing, and so I gave her my like cowl that I was wearing, and she was like, "I'm gonna need one of these," and I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll make you one."
Lori also got recently married, so maybe I'll make
Oh,
them
yeah.
something for like their anniversary.
I have
Next
some.
July.
I have an interest or a plan to make, like design a cowl with like a Surrey alpaca like inside, that's really soft. That's like Shetland on the outside. I was thinking about that today. It literally just today popped in my head.
If you get cashmere for Christmas.
Well, I did it with cashmere. There's an episode on that if you are interested. My brother got me a skein of cashmere, but it's like that's like a different weight, and it's like something that not that many people have, and I feel like Surrey alpaca is like easier to get, and so it's like more of a like hot button thing, and people could use mohair or like mohair and a strand of fingering weight. Maybe I'll do that because people have like leftovers, and you can like put it on the inside of the cowl and be soft.
I tried making a cowl.
Oh, yeah, you
last
did.
winter, and I don't know if it's because I didn't have like a pattern in mind. Like I just started because I was like, "Oh, yours seems cool. I'll just do
It
this."
was really
thing
cool.
and
We were
fold it."
outside at that winery, and it was effing freezing. It was like January, and it was like 30 degrees.
And I was like, "I'll make this cowl." And then I got pretty far done with it, and then I looked at it, and I was like, "This isn't. I don't like this.
This
I'm not
isn't
gonna
it."
wear
That was-
I have a lot of scarves. Like I love scarves. I wear them in the winter. I have some.
You knitted a scarf. That
I
was the
knitted my
thing
first
that you
knit was a scarf, which is still unblocked.
Oh,
I
you
just
blocked
never
that.
got around to blocking it. I blocked other stuff since then, but I finished it. Who knows when? I never blocked it.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of other scarves. Went to like other countries and got scarves because I was like, oh yeah, nice wool scarf. And I loved that. And then I was like, I'll love a cowl too. And I got through it, and it was gonna be orange, white, and blue because those were the colors I had in extras. And I got to the end, and I was like, no, I don't like
It's not
this.
it.
Yeah, and so I unwound all of it.
whole
And I
thing.
think I still have a bunch of the balls because I started off being small stripes, and so I just kept cutting and cutting and cutting.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had tiny balls of like orange and white and blue.
So sad.
I think it was actually this. Was it? No, maybe not.
It was those colors, but it wasn't that yarn.
Yeah, it was some other yarn. It was Malbreed
It
or
was
something.
leftovers of some stuff
Anyways.
that I had, I think. Yeah.
If you're not gonna wear it, I guess I knew I wasn't gonna wear it. I
Yeah.
wasn't
If
gonna
you're
give
not
to
gonna wear it,
someone,
you should
so
rip it out. That's the rule, right?
keep the yarn.
Yeah, but we have to watch our show. I come over here right because we're watching a show called Only Murders in the Building, which is really exciting if you haven't seen it. It's on Hulu.
Yes.
And it's very good. And the finale it came out yesterday, and Nitin's sister texted and was like, it was so good. And we were like, oh, we're gonna watch it. But we waited till today to watch
it's
it.
So good, can't watch.
So
You
we're
gotta
gonna
watch
eat
it.
Thai food and watch Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah,
And then
so we have a bunch of backlog of stuff to watch as well.
And then we're gonna go to trivia.
We get that. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been fun.
It has. I can't
See
wait
you
to
later.
Read. Can't wait to read the transcript.
I know. Yeah,
And
Nitin
see.
reads the transcript. All right. Back to me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm back. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was fun. I'm getting more into like having guests on the show and stuff because I have less to talk about. I don't really have I never have less to talk about, let's be honest. But you know, I've been a lot more monogamous with my projects, which just makes it kind of like, oh, do you want to see the progress I made on this since you saw it last week on my channel? Like, I have to come up with like new things to talk about. I'm planning to do more guest stuff. So yeah, Hannah and I were working our alpenglows this week. We're both close to being done. We just did it in different orders. Like we both cast it on and like did the yoke. And then the first thing I did after the yoke was I did the neck. I did the ribbed neckline. And then I started on the body. And then I finished like the first ball of yarn on the body and I knit the sleeves, both the sleeves. And I was afraid that I would run out of spin cycle and have to use that Zalbert ball that I got at Knits and Pieces a couple weeks ago. But I did not run out of spin cycle on the sleeves, which means I will definitely not run out of spin cycle for the body. And I was like, maybe I'll just do the corrugated ribbing anyway, even though I said I wasn't gonna do it because I wouldn't have enough spin cycle. And now I'm like, I have a ton of spin cycle. I could probably do this. So we will see what I decide to do. I might just save it for a leftover for another project and I might use it. But I knit, she did the like casted on the yoke, then did the whole body, and then she did the neckline. So her neckline's also done and she's folded it and it looks great. I'm gonna fold mine too. I've decided not to keep it as a turtleneck, just because I think it will provoke the rest of the sweater riding up. Provoke might not be the right word. It doesn't really have agency because it's a neckline, but I think it will cause the rest of the sweater to kind of ride up in the yoke, which I don't want. So, and now she's doing her sleeves, but she also hasn't done her hem yet because I think we both just wanted to see, excuse me, how much spin cycle we had left. So we'll see. I still think I have like 3 more repeats on the body, and then I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do about the hem. But I'm waiting for Hannah to finish her second sleeve so that we can finish them off together. And then, yeah, we have a few, we call them our little cows, like just in our house, we knit the same sweater. We have a few little cows coming up. We're gonna knit the classic. I might knit Paloma because I just knit the classic and I like this. Ribbed sleeves on Paloma. They're both from Espace Tricot. It's the same pattern, just one of them has little ribbed details on the sleeve and one of them doesn't. I really like that pattern. I made the classic in about February, and if you want to go back and watch my vids about it, there's probably a video on it. I'll link it in the show notes. So we're gonna do a woolen mohair knit along. I think I'm gonna do mine in dark green because I got some mohair finally Wool to Dye For has mohair in stock again, and I brought all of my dye supplies back from Vermont. So we are definitely gonna dye yarn. She needs to dye singles for that. I don't know if she's gonna do singles or like a sock plied merino, but regardless. The reason I started talking about this was because we're gonna do a promise that we will do an episode where we talk about them. We talk about the different yarns. We talk about what we liked about the pattern. We talked about what we didn't like about it or whatever. The way that it doesn't matter. Like we didn't not like anything, or we didn't dislike anything about the sweaters. We don't dislike them. We'll just talk about our knitting processes a little bit. And Monica was over last night, my knitting friend from Philly, Monica, and she was like, oh yeah, I want mohair too. So we might get more mohair to just have kind of a stock around, which is nice. I keep like canvassing my friends to be like, do you need any yarn? Do you need any yarn? I need to order berry yarn, and the more I order, the cheaper it is. Yeah, I don't know. What else do I have to talk about? Well, I have my cloud sleeve. I found this. I stopped the video so that I could put the interview in. Oh, excuse me. And then I went and got my cloud sleeve, and I took my reindeer sweater off because it's too warm. It's a little creased because I folded it. It was just sitting on the couch. So there's the back with the slip stitch pattern. Sorry, I know that I don't hold things up enough, and it gets a little blown out if I do that. So you can't see the color super well, but you can see the slip stitch cable pattern, which is very simple. It's a little bit, I wouldn't say it was a learning curve, it just was a little slower at first, and then I kind of figured it out. I could do it without a cable needle, so that wasn't really a problem. And it fits really well. Oh, I should have probably taken my glasses off before doing that. Yeah, there we go. It fits like a store-bought sweater, which doesn't usually happen to me when I knit sweaters, because they just usually have more positive ease than a store-bought sweater would. But this one, yeah, it looks like, this to me feels like it came from like a really high-end like boutique, which is very special. This yarn is 100% BFL from Fluffy U Fiber Farm in Pennsylvania. And BFL Blueface Leicester sheep can come in a variety of shades, but this is the natural brown shade, or kind of it's grayish. Sometimes they're white. And this one is like a natural gray color, which I really like. And I have seen, like, the first time I saw this, I was like, that's not BFL. BFL's white. Then I was like, no, it's not always white. Sometimes it is like this color, and I have now seen more BFL. I've seen like raw BFL and stuff that are unspun that like is the same color as this. So it totally is a normal natural color. There is a pearl seam somewhere there. Yeah, I finally did this pearl seam. I never knit these, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that on this sweater. But I wanted something lightweight that was a little bit of a V-neck, just for some interest, because it doesn't ride up and grab your neck like that. Like some of the crew neck sweaters I knit, if you don't add short rows to some sweaters, they can kind of irritate your neck a little bit. So love this sweater, Cloud Sleep by Isabel Kramer. My mom is also knitting one of these for one of her sisters, but I think she's gonna do a little t-shirt, and she's doing it in like a yak silk merino, which is super pretty. So that's fun. So yeah, otherwise, I'm gonna show you guys this. This is a huge bottle of Eucalyptus Jasmine, which is my favorite Eucalyptus. I usually use lavender. I have the grapefruit bottle. I like the eucalyptus. I like all of them. I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again, and I'm probably gonna say it again in the future. I really like the jasmine one, because if you don't like the smell, don't get it. But it has a very sweet smell. And this actually has, like, the jasmine oil smell stays in the piece for much longer than the lavender scent or the grapefruit or eucalyptus scent. And I really like the smell of the jasmine. So I like that if I wash my garments in that, it stays. It's like kind of a sweet smell. It's like, I like it a lot. So if you're into that, you should check it out. I got a tiny one, like they come in tiny bottles. I just got this on Amazon, but you can probably get it out at your LYS if they may or may not have this scent. I only got it on Amazon because they didn't have it at any of my local shops. I try not to shop on Amazon because I don't think one business should have a monopoly over our entire country. But that's where I found it, so that's where I got it. And yeah, I think not much else to say today. So yeah, this is gonna be a plenty long video because there's a 30-minute interview in the middle of it. But yeah, life has been sort of normal, a little bit less crazy now that we're all kind of back from me and the girls are back from our, just doing stuff. We had a guest last weekend, that was really fun. Jordan's friend was visiting from out of state. But yeah, this was kind of normal, just this week. We went peach picking yesterday. Excuse me, me and Hannah and Nitin went peach picking yesterday, and we went to the outlet mall and I got a bunch of stuff, which was good because I needed some back to school, just like general. Mostly I got workout clothes actually, because they have an Under Armour outlet and an Asics outlet and a Nike outlet. So I went to the Under Armour outlet yesterday and I did very well. And I got a couple of I got like a blouse and a skirt for work from J. Crew Factory. So that was good. It was successful. And we went to get cider at Dockwater Cidery, which is out in Montgomery County too. And that was really nice. Then we came back here and we made a bunch of peach stuff. We baked some peach cobbler and that was delicious. I think I'm gonna make another one today. I'm gonna try a different recipe because I made a Southern style one, which was like a really, really runny batter. I just poured it into a pan and just like threw a bunch of peaches in there, and it was really good. But it was different. And so Hannah and Nitin and I were talking in the car, oh, well, what is the peach cobbler? Is that the fruits here and then you put a dough on the top? And Hannah was like, yeah, it's like that. So I think we're gonna try that one today if we make it again. Because we had Monica came over last night, and we actually managed to eat most of the cobbler, which was a little surprising to me. I was like, oh, we're gonna have a ton of leftovers, and then we didn't, and I was like, thank God. This always happens. We have so many leftovers and no one eats them. Well, we eat them, but we do our best. Anyway, yeah, what's coming up this week? Not a whole lot. Next weekend is Labor Day, so that'll be nice. Excuse me. Hopefully I get to relax and just have some knitting time. And hopefully the weather will be good so we can be outside, have beers on the roof or something. It's kind of just, I'm a really chill person in that sense. I just like to have a beer on the roof. It's kind of my favorite way to just hang out. So we'll see. Maybe I'll go to the beach if it's nice. I'm talking too quietly, probably. I have said this many times, but maybe at some point I will get a lapel mic. I guess I have a spot to plug it in. I have this arm that holds my phone to record, and it has to grab it on both ends, but it does have a hole so I could plug in a lapel mic to the phone. We'll see. We'll see. I feel like I would just do this and something would fly off. But that's just me. Okay. I think that's all. So, thank you for watching. This has been Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Bye!